Right, let's talk about a Supreme Court decision that's shaking up American politics and honestly the way power works in the United States. On the 27th of June, 2025, the Supreme Court handed down a ruling that's being called a massive win for Donald Trump and the executive branch. Here's what happened, why it matters, and what might come next. So, the court basically said, look, federal judges can no longer issue nationwide injunctions that instantly freeze presidential policies across the entire country. This change is big. For years, groups on both the left and the right have used this legal move to stop presidents, from Obama to Trump, in their tracks. Now, that tool is, well, mostly gone. The case that triggered this wasn't just about any policy, it was about Trump's push to end birthright citizenship. That's the rule that says if you're born on American soil, you're automatically a citizen. The Supreme Court didn't decide on the citizenship issue itself, instead they sent it back to lower courts. But their main ruling makes it much harder for opponents to block presidential actions nationwide, no matter who's in office. Now Donald Trump is thrilled. He called the decision a giant win for the Constitution, the separation of powers, and the rule of law. He's already listing out all the policies he says can now move forward, ending birthright citizenship, freezing what he calls unnecessary funding, stopping sanctuary city money, and suspending refugee resettlement. But, and it's a big but, the fight's not over. Immigrant rights groups are scrambling to block Trump's policies through new lawsuits, switching tactics to class actions. For now, the fate of birthright citizenship is still up in the air. And as if that wasn't enough, on the very same day, the Supreme Court sided with religious parents who want to pull their kids out of lessons featuring LGBTQ+ books in schools. Trump cheered this too, calling it a tremendous victory for parents. Inside the court, things got heated. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, in a strong dissent, warned this new approach is an existential threat to the rule of law. In her view, it lets the president violate the Constitution with far less oversight from the courts. On the other side, Justice Amy Coney Barrett wrote the majority opinion, earning a rare public compliment from Trump, who's previously had a love-hate relationship with his own Supreme Court picks. Attorney General Pam Bondi, meanwhile, is confident the Supreme Court will ultimately back Trump's order to end birthright citizenship. So, what does all this mean? In short, it's now harder for any single judge to pause or stop the president's agenda, especially nationwide. That could make it easier for Trump or any future president to push through policies without months or years of courtroom battles. It's a seismic shift in the balance of power between the presidency and the courts. And whether you're cheering or worried, it's clear the rules of the game just changed. If you want to dig deeper, I've linked reliable coverage down below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Does this make America stronger, or should checks and balances be tougher? Thanks for watching.